Now, let's move on to the other half of our message: nonverbal communication. What we say is important, but it's only part of the story. Our eye contact, gestures, expressions, and even how we use the space around us are constantly sending signals that complete or sometimes contradict our words. Let's explore how to make these signals work for us. We'll start with the most powerful tool: eye contact. It's not just an old saying. Looking someone in the eye is fundamental to building trust and sincerity. It sends the message, "I'm listening, and I'm being truthful." It's how we form connections and gauge whether the person we're talking to is truly engaged with us. So, how do we do it right? The key is a gentle, not intense, gaze. In a one-on-one, let your eyes move naturally in the triangle between their eyes and mouth. In a group, scan the room in a Z or W pattern so everyone feels included. Aim to hold your gaze for about 3 to 5 seconds before shifting. This feels engaged, not awkward. It's critical to remember that eye contact isn't universal. In Western cultures, direct eye contact signals honesty. But in some Eastern and other cultures, holding a strong gaze, especially with a superior, can be seen as aggressive or disrespectful. The key takeaway for global business is to be aware of your counterpart's cultural background and adapt. Our bodies talk, even when we're silent. Your posture and gestures reveal your inner state. And here's the thing: when your words say one thing but your body says another, people will almost always believe your body. An open posture with uncrossed arms signals confidence, while a defensive, closed-off posture can betray anxiety or disagreement. Let's make this practical. During a presentation, keep your gestures natural and around chest level to project confidence. Use your whole hand for emphasis, not an aggressive index finger. In meetings, be mindful of nervous habits like pen clicking. To show you're engaged, lean in slightly. To show you're confident in your point, sit up straight. Be very careful with gestures abroad. A simple "okay" sign is a serious insult in Brazil and means worthless in France. The thumbs up, a sign of approval in most places, is highly offensive in parts of the Middle East and Africa. The safest rule when in an unfamiliar culture: when in doubt, don't gesture. Of all our nonverbal cues, our facial expressions are the most honest. While some expressions vary, research by Paul Ekman identified 7 emotions that are universally understood. Our faces can even flash micro-expressions that reveal our true feelings in a fraction of a second. In business, your message is only seen as authentic when your words match your face. We can manage our expressions to build better relationships. First, the smile, a genuine one that involves the eye muscles, is a universal signal of approachability. Second, using your eyebrows, raising them to show interest or furrowing them to show concern, adds nuance. And third, nodding shows you're actively listening. The key is to be natural, not fake. Emotions are contagious, and this is especially true for leaders. A leader's anxiety can spread through a team like wildfire. This is where a strategic poker face can be useful, especially in a crisis, to project calm and stability. But be careful. If used all the time, it can make you seem cold and indifferent, which hurts team connection. It's not just what you say, it's how you say it. That's paralanguage. The volume of your voice can show confidence. Your pitch and tone convey emotion. The pace of your speech can signal urgency or calm. And a well-placed pause can be more powerful than any word. By mastering these vocal cues, you can completely change the meaning of your message. So, how do we cultivate a voice that people trust? Aim for 4 things first. An appropriate volume, not too loud, not too quiet. Second, a stable, slightly lower pitch, which tends to sound more credible. Third, a composed, deliberate pace with pauses. And finally, clear articulation. Mumbling kills credibility. Let's apply this. In a presentation, vary your pitch and pace to keep it interesting. Use pauses to emphasize key points. In a tense negotiation, consciously slow your pace and lower your tone to stay calm and rational. When handling a customer complaint, a slower, lower voice conveys empathy and can help de-escalate the situation. We all have an invisible bubble of personal space around us, a concept known as proxemics. The appropriate distance depends on the relationship. For general business and meetings, we operate in the social distance zone, which is about 1.2 to 3.6 meters. When someone gets too close, we feel uncomfortable. Respecting this boundary is key. Where you sit in a meeting matters. It reflects and reinforces power dynamics. Sitting side by side encourages collaboration. Sitting directly across from someone creates a more oppositional dynamic, which is common in negotiations. And as a general rule, the seat of power is the one farthest from the door, with a clear view of the room. Let's wrap up with some simple etiquette. Don't get too close when shaking hands. Treat a colleague's desk as their private territory. In a crowded elevator, minimize conversation and eye contact. And remember that personal space norms vary by culture. If someone stands a bit closer than you're used to, see it as a cultural difference, not a threat.